Hi, once again, it's DJ Chris Antony. I'm coming to you from Las Vegas at the Tropicana for Mobile Beat 21, and I've got another great guest who I'm going to be asking a few questions, and that man is none other than the great Jim Cerone, who I hugely admire. He has the perfect host as something that he teaches, and he talks about being the perfect host for weddings, wedding DJs in particular, and he's got some really good advice for wedding DJs. So I'm just going to be asking a few questions about that. So Jim, thank you so much for agreeing to talk to me. One of the things that I kind of took from your Perfect Host series and training was the music that you play for your guests at your weddings. Now, you're a very experienced master of ceremonies, but just tell us a bit about the music and how you feel the music can really add to a wedding ceremony. But the fact that so often the music that people play is not programmed the best way. Let's put it that way. What advice could you give DJs on programming music?
Well, I started like a lot of people. I'm a music junkie. I listen to music from morning till night. I'm thinking about music. If there's not music playing, it's playing in my head. I just love music, and I'm a student of music. I read charts. I have every chart book that's ever been produced. So, and I'm always keeping up. Every week I have a routine. I listen to the latest music. I check the Shazam chart, the Spotify chart, our local radio stations. I'm just a music junkie. And to me, when you're the DJ, you're creating the soundtrack for the whole day. And somebody who scores a movie, they have just the right song at just the right time to make you feel the scene, right? If it's a happy scene, then it's bouncy up-tempo music. If it's a very sad scene, then the music fits. And so at a reception, at any kind of corporate event, at a mitzvah, you want to create the soundtrack. And you want to make sure that every person feels included. So in your area, in the UK, you have the wedding breakfast, you have photos, you have all of the other things that happen. You can create the soundtrack for all those different moments. And when the guests walk in, they don't trust you. So you're using all that time of building the soundtrack to create trust. So when the dance floor opens, it explodes. So you have to build the soundtrack. You never leave anything for granted. You don't play background music. Make the soundtrack.
Yeah, that's right, because, I mean, even I'm guilty of this, of just getting a CD with some music on that you program, or a playlist, and you just press the play button, it just plays one after the other. But from what you're saying is that's a missed opportunity kind of thing.
That's a great way to say it. It is a missed opportunity because you want to build trust, because you want to create the right atmosphere, and I think it happens. I do it two ways. I do create playlists in advance, but I ask about the crowd that's going to be there. I know who's coming from which areas of the country, so I've really done my research. I create the playlist in advance, but then I'll adjust on the fly. So as the perfect host, I'm out there talking during the drinks reception. I'm circulating during dinner, so I can let the music play, but then if I feel like the mood changes in the room, I'll go change the music.
Right, okay, no, that's... Well, really good advice there for wedding DJs. Just another thing that I want to touch upon is you were one of the DJs that were involved in the DJ radio, right? Or the American DJ radio thing that you did with Mark Farrell. And a lot of DJs got a lot of real good information about that. It doesn't actually, it's not happening right now, is it? But is there anything you can offer DJs in terms of what you were teaching when you were doing DJ radio? Is there any advice you can offer wedding DJs about being a really good host at weddings?
Absolutely. We did Disc Jockey America Radio, DJ radio for about a year. And what happened was podcasting was too new. We were too far ahead of the curve. This was 2006, 10, 11 years ago. And so we made the podcast, but we didn't have a way for it to make money or to really get exposure because Facebook wasn't a big thing yet, and Twitter. So we were too ahead of the curve. But what I hit on was what came from my background. My parents were wonderful hosts. They had dinner parties. They loved gathering family and friends around them, and it comes naturally to me. But as a DJ, I thought it was my job just to make people dance. When I put the two together, that's when my parties took off and my reputation spiraled, and it just, so you have to take ownership of the party. That's the short, quick sentence about how to host. Think of it as your party. What would you do? What would you say? Would you greet the guests, or would you let them find their way on? You know, you have to think of every party as your own. That also makes you feel the responsibility for the success or failure of the party on your shoulders, as I think you should.
Fantastic. Well, Jim, that's absolutely great. Thank you so much for that. Just one more question. What has been your standout moment for Mobile Beat 21 this year? What kind of comes to mind?
To me, it's really become the people. It's a family reunion. I've had the opportunity to meet from all across the country, all across the world, Australia, UK. To me, it's just feeding off of that energy of all these wonderful people, because we're in the people business. That's really what we're about, is creating celebrations, being together with people. So for me, it's all about who's here and learning and just catching up with each one of them. So we appreciate the opportunity to talk to you today, Chris.
Fantastic. We appreciate the opportunity to talk to you. Thank you so much. So there you have it. Another great friend, Mobile Beat. I hope you've enjoyed it. I just to echo what you said, Jim, was that I have met so many fantastic people on this trip. It's been a wonderful experience for me, and I hope by just doing these live feeds, these videos, that you're getting something out of it and that you're enjoying the content. So once again, Jim, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cheers, guys. Take care. Bye bye. Thank you, Jim.